Guys, my big green buddy over here and I would like to thank you for showing up to this class of the Comic Book University. We've broken this particular subject down into 9 different parts, and here's one of them right now. I'm going to talk about his power set right now. That's the main thing about the Hulk, is his strength. Right? He's very durable, he's bulletproof, and he wasn't in the first issue. He was able to be shot, and that's when he was still gray, but the bullet didn't hurt him at all, and he was able to still beat up the guy who shot him. Which is cool though, because when the Thing first came out, he was dodging bullets. No joke. In the Fantastic Four, he actually dodged the bullets because he didn't want to get hit. Apparently, bullets could go through rock. So, packed like that. And it's rock-like substance, not actual rock. It's much stronger than steel. So, the idea there was that he had a healing factor, right? Yes, he was very durable, but more than that, he would heal from whatever you threw at him. Much later on, they would establish that his healing factor was actually faster than Wolverine's when Wolverine was actually introduced. And ding ding, Wolverine was introduced in the Incredible Hulk comic. He had a cameo in issue number 180, and his first full appearance in issue number 181. I think that was October and November, succinctly, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, so sorry, I'm actually trying to remember the dates on the issue, and I don't always remember them all. So anyway, yeah, Wolverine was actually first introduced like that, and there will be a Wolverine discussion, but that will probably be later, much later. In the interim, they did establish that the Hulk has a tremendous healing factor, as well as the idea that he's more than just bulletproof. Eventually, when he became green, especially, he could pretty much be shot by a tank and brush it off. He is so unbelievably strong that his leg muscles allow him to leap. And I'm not just talking about like Olympic level leaping. No, you've seen it where he's leaping from city to city, right? Like a couple of leaps and he could practically leap across the continent. Even his basic leaps, and it depends on who's writing, but for the most part, his leaping could bring him 1 to 3 miles, just a standard standing leap. And that's tremendous strength right there. They never really did that with any other hero established as a permanent benchmark thing. They have had Hercules jump like that. They have had Simon Williams' Wonder Man jump like that. But it was mostly well, if the Hulk could do it, I wonder if I could do it. So they did it and like, okay, but it's not as far and it's not as accurate. Like Hulk has it able to find science, and they'd rather find other methods of transportation. Hulk's main mode of transportation is just leaping to wherever he needs to go. And yeah, that's a hell of a leap. So the Hulk's main ability, though, is his strength, and the fact that he doesn't seem to have any limits to that strength. Now, how he gets mad. This is a fairly heated debate. It doesn't need to be, because it's comic books. But the Hulk, the madder the Hulk gets, the stronger the Hulk gets. People have argued that there's a finite limit to how angry you can get. I don't know where they've gotten this information from. It's purely supposition. There is no proof in modern science that says that there's only but so mad that you can get. It's not true. It's simply not true. So people have said, oh, well, there must be a limit to a strength if there's a limit to anger, right? It's Aristotelian logic. The problem is that it's based on flawed information. So No, there is no limit to the Hulk's strength. Genuinely, zero limit. There's no limit to his anger, there's no limit to his strength. And we can also presume, some people argue, that the longer the Hulk is angry, the madder he'll get, or the stronger he'll get. That actually seems to be the truth also. And the best representation I can give you of that would be Secret Wars. In the original Marvel Secret Wars, a mountain was dropped on the heroes, and the Hulk, by himself, had to hold up this mountain that weighed, do I say billions of tons? I don't know. It's a mountain, and it wasn't just a mountain, it was a mountain range, essentially. And I know it makes zero sense, but he was holding up this mountain range. And the mountain range was so big that Thor, the mighty Thor, with Mjolnir, just there it is. That's the authentic Mjolnir. Taking the hammer, and as hard as Thor actually says, my hardest blows I was hitting. And the guys were like, we did hear a tapping coming from up there. We couldn't figure out what it was. Oh, okay, that's what it was. And Thor is all indignant. My mightiest blows? Like mere tapping? Yeah, sorry. That's how heavy and huge this mountain range was, and that's how strong that the Hulk is. And when you get into Worldbreaker Hulk and things like that, yeah, like a single footstep can shake the majority of the Earth, right? Or a huge portion of the Earth. Anyway, one of the abilities that the Hulk has that not too many people know, and maybe fewer of us understand, is astral sight. Not astral projection. He cannot actually go into the astral plane, but he can see into the astral plane. So if Doctor Strange decides to and leave his body, like has his soul leave his body and go off and do all that good stuff, and if you play Dungeons and Dragons, you know, you got the silver cord following behind you, and yeah, all that good stuff. Ghosts, right? Where ghosts come from, and these other dimensional creatures who we can't see or interact with unless we have some form of telepathy, and they can see us, but they can't necessarily interact with us unless they also have some form of telepathy or magic. The Hulk is actually able to see, not interact, not touch, but he can see these things. Why? This actually goes back to the idea that he's a big child. As children, we see ghosts, right? That's something that's been played on the movies and all sorts of stories, literature, many works of fiction. We're always playing the idea that it's children who can see ghosts, and good ghosts, bad ghosts, whatever. I'm thinking the Sixth Sense right now, right? So the Hulk, just basically being a child-minded brute, sees ghosts. He can see people in the astral plane, or monsters or whatever in the astral plane. And that's not been utilized as much as it could have, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. But the stories that it has been involved in, great. The idea that he's looking and conversing with someone in the astral plane and everybody else is looking like, has the Hulk lost his marbles? What's going on? Anyway, that's the basis of Hulk's power set, right? The things that he could do. Now, those things changed to a degree when the Hulk became gray again. I know. Guys, thanks for stopping by. This is Professor Bill, the absolute best teacher you'll ever have, at the Comic Book University, the definitively greatest school you're ever going to attend. And you too can attend the Comic Book University simply by hitting subscribe below. Take part in the conversations by discussing below, and send a like my way. I appreciate it. Talk to you later. Class dismissed.